The theme of today's conference is autistic identity. And those of you who know me will know I'm not often stuck for words, but I sat down the other day to think, right, how am I going to set the scene for this conference? What am I going to say? And I really struggled with it. And I thought, why am I struggling with this? And then the words of that well-known philosopher, Kenny Rogers, came into my mind. Charlene, you've got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And the reason I was struggling is because I'm not autistic. I can't speak about autistic identity. And then I remembered a really fabulous lady who I'd met quite recently called Wendy Ferguson. And she had sent me a poem. And I was very moved by that poem, and I thought, I don't think there's really a better way that I could set the scene for the conference than to invite Wendy to come up and recite her poem. Up you come, Wendy.
Thank you, Charlene, for that very kind introduction. Well, good morning. My name is Wendy Ferguson, and I am an autistic woman. I've always been autistic, but I only found out 2 years ago, just a few weeks after my mum died. Since then, it's been a process of recalibration, of figuring out who I am beyond a lifetime of trying to fit in and masking my real self. Just 10 months ago, we also lost my dear dad, my dearest friend, my greatest cheerleader. He would have loved to have been here today, and I like to think that maybe somewhere he is. Just 11 days ago, I had a mental breakdown. My internal world fell apart. Helpless and terrified, I tried to reach out, but no one was available when I needed them. As I watched the chaos of my mind, I felt I had finally lost the fight, that this was the end. As I finally began to regain some internal control, an unexpected helper appeared. But what's important here is in the absence of any support and help, I had to survive myself. I began to remember all of the self-care strategies. I soothed myself. I kept myself safe. I then began even more layers of self-care, including taking some me time to switch off and recover. I just got back yesterday. And amidst all of that, just on Monday, I got the invitation to be here now. And a little voice inside me said, I think I can do that. In 2018, I randomly saw a Facebook post looking for a mentor for the Swan Under Our Wing project. Again, a little voice inside me said, I think I can do that. I had the privilege of being a mentor on the project, where for the first time in my life, I got to be with people just like me. And it's my pleasure to share some reflections from that time in a poem. I write poems all the time to help me process the world. This one came from the moment I realised I had to go back to normality. So here it is. It's called Mentoring Magic. And it says, leave the cocoon and come on outside, but I'm happy here now, I don't have to hide. Safe in my haven where I can be free, softly surrounded by people just like me. Wise ones who get it like nobody can, merrily blending our autistic brand. Like swans so serene on the surface, though we must toil. From bright lights, loud music, and people, we can recoil. But when we come together and each difference embrace, we get to glide in the world with such grace. Wholly supported, sometimes under our wing, a unique blend of brave hearts our Swan community brings. A sigh of relief as we don't have to mask or pretend we can do the things we find hard. It's hard to solidify the piece into words. Perhaps even to try may seem quite absurd. A patience, a pleasure, a joy in our play, as we got to be us in the woodlands today, where deep down life became quiet inside, and we got to celebrate the traits that reside. Inside our unique blend, our autistic brand, full of magic and wonder and never so bland, as the world that's out there, that's become the norm, a neurotypical nonsense where we don't belong, filled up with rules and games we don't like to play. If only those NTs could see life our way. They would follow our footsteps and beg us to show the magical things that only we know, where there's no room for fighting or feeling under attack, where it so simply feels like someone's got your back. I'm so endlessly grateful that Swan came to me as I unleash my real self and set my soul free. Mentoring Magic by me, Wendy Ferguson. When I read Charlene's email just on Monday inviting me to speak today, that little voice inside me said, I could do that. I chose to listen to that voice and not the mind that says I can't, because 1,000,001 things. I can do that. I'm passionate about helping people like me hear that little voice and, importantly, empowering them to follow it. Because just like the magic of me standing before you today, you never know where it might lead. Let's start to shine the light on this kind of stuff. Let's focus on what autistic individuals can do and not just on what we can't. Who knows what might happen next? My name is Wendy Ferguson, and I am an autistic woman. Thank you.
Told you. Just very emotional, and I can see a lot of emotion in the room, and why not? And some of you have elected to go to the Under Our Wing seminar, and you're in for a real treat, because what a fantastic project that was.